Your latest Saints news here on the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Johannes Spors, the sporting director, has been having interviews today with the local media. Both BBC Solent or BBC South and also the Southern Daily Echo have both had interviews with him today. I've just listened to Lewis Coombs' feature-length interview on BBC Sounds. It was a 13-minute interview. I've got all the best quotes from it. I've got all the key takeaways. Going to break it down and bring that to you here on the channel, and make sure you get involved in the comments box below. Give me all your thoughts to what Spors has had to say. Many of you probably haven't even read it or listened to it, because not everybody tunes in to BBC Sounds or listens to the radio or TV anymore. A lot of people get their news in different ways, and that's why I am here with this YouTube channel, to bring you a slightly different perspective and a slightly different way of bringing you the latest Saints news. Well, what did he have to say? Well, he did talk at a key time, really, after the run we've been on. I think he picked his moment well, because I know Alfie House at the Echo has been trying to get an interview with him for a while, and it's probably been held off to the right moment. So the moment feels right, and he kicked off his interview with BBC by saying it feels much better than it did 5 weeks ago. We've had a complete rebuild of the football club, and he can see that how the football club works much better than it did before. That was with the BBC. With the Daily Echo, he said that we were the worst performing club in Premier League history, or virtually, and the rebuild was necessary. Well, it absolutely was. I did think it was a good interview. Both the interviews, the one that I read with Alfie, I'm a subscriber to the Echo, so I was able to read it. I thought it was a really good interview that Alfie's got. And also Lewis Coombs, he did a good job today. Lewis Coombs, I think he's pretty much a Saints fan, because I keep seeing him down in my end of the stadium where I sit in the chapel end. He said to Lewis, ultimately it didn't work out with Will Still. There was a bit of talk around Will Still, and he went on to talk about how much business that was done over the summer. 37 different player transactions. I didn't realise it was that amount, but 37. He said that Will Still struggled with all those changes. This was with the Daily Echo. He said he had good ideas, he said, but it just didn't translate onto the pitch. I think they felt that the decision had to be made to sack him, and he said it was fully his decision. He said that both to the Echo and the BBC. It was fully his decision, because there was a lot of reports out there, and I'd heard it as well, and people have said to me that it was Dragan Solak's decision, but it doesn't look like he is saying it wasn't. It was his decision. The timing was his decision, and he takes full responsibility for Will Still, and he just struggled, he felt, with the rebuild. Well, he certainly did. I don't think he just struggled with the rebuild. I think he struggled, from now looking at it, is to have that rapport with the players that you're seeing now, that Eckert seems to have something that's working and translating what they're doing on the training pitch on the pitch. And obviously, like, attention to detail, you would imagine that Steele would have had that, because he was such a tactical kind of guy. But obviously his personality and demeanour didn't rub off onto the players. Maybe just didn't. I think connection sometimes with people is really important, whatever business you're in, even if you're not in football. I think, you know, in your working environment, I've been in loads of different working environments, and I've been in some this year. If you don't have that relationship with the person you're working with, it's doomed to fail, isn't it? And that's like with the group, isn't it? If the person that's managing your office, and you don't respect them, or you don't feel their ideas are right, it just fails, and everybody tittle-tattles, don't they, within that group? And it would be the same in this environment. It would probably be worse when you're in a dressing room full of egos. He came on to Tonda Eckert, and I thought there were some really good quotes on both the Echo side and the BBC side. So I'm going to take quotes from both, break it down. He said his history is very long. This was with the BBC, and he was very confident that he could connect with the players. And speaking about that connection, he said it was always a succession plan with him. We've heard this already. He said that to the Echo a while ago, and I think Alfie had already alluded to it. He did his pro license in the best class in Italy. His knowledge is of the highest level, and he has worked with World Cup winners. Vieira, close. Top players. He said that the players, they can count on whatever he says and there is no question marks. So was he referring to there was question marks with Will Still? Maybe, with the players. He said Tonda wasn't an accident. Spors has always seen him as the future head coach of the football club. He went on with the BBC to talk about why Tonda is succeeding. He said he's a top tactical expert. Tactical knowledge is superb. He said he's also very good with empathy, clarity, and communication. I think there are probably things that Will Still wasn't good at, because he's really sort of emphasised on the empathy and communication. And do you know what? And I'm coming back to that reference of being in a working environment and being in... When I've worked under managers that are in businesses that have got good empathy and they've got good clarity in what they're trying to deliver, you perform for that person. And when I look back over my working life, I had my own business. I worked under my dad had his own business, then I developed a business off of it. I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but it does correlate into real life, because when I worked under a guy, Steve, and he was the best boss I worked under, he had really good empathy, but he was a really good communicator and he knew how to draw the best out of people. He was professional, but he was detailed. The most detailed manager I'd ever worked under. And in my working life, my best performances at work come under him. And I look back on that time and that working environment, and this is what's happening in a football club under this guy. The clarity and the communication and his knowledge is so good. It clearly is, because when you look at what's happening on the pitch, it's been delivered. He said with the Daily Echo, what looks simple, when the most hours of work have gone in, the players know exactly what to do on the pitch. And they do. And that's what happens when you've got somebody that's got so much detail above you. And I don't think it's any fluke what is happening on the pitch. And I do think it continued. I thought it might be a bubble that might burst. I don't know about you. Get involved in the comments box below, but it doesn't feel like a bubble that's going to burst, does it? I certainly don't. He speaks about the combination of elite tactics, clear communications, equals players buying in. Everything that probably wasn't happening before. In-game management and areas to improve. Speaking with the Echo, he said, in-game solutions are always the hardest part, said Spors. We've learnt lessons. The positive thing is we're learning without losing points. What a great point that is he's made. And he's spot on, isn't he? We haven't, other than at Millwall, you'd say that's the argument. We dropped points at Millwall, but in terms of a load of points, we haven't lost a load of points. And he's spot on. But he's saying that they're improving, which is what they will do. Transfer decisions, hit and misses. You never have everything right. And that's absolutely right. This is what he said to the BBC. Leo Scienza, Finazaz, Tom Fellows and Casper Yanda and Joshua Kwasi he spoke about. And when we talk about the new signings, we speak about Scienza, Finazaz, Tom Fellows, don't we? And Yanda. But we don't really talk about Joshua Kwasi as much, do we? But he's actually a really good player. Again, he's one for the future. He spoke about not everybody's going to just fit in for now, that these are long-term players. But Joshua Kwasi, I thought, played really well against West Brom. And I also thought he did brilliant against Leicester. He is a future leader in the back in the back three. I think he's a really talented individual. He spoke about Leo Scienza with the Echo being a special character. He wakes everybody up. I saw another quote that he was like that he can be he says what he thinks, and you seem to feel that, don't you, from Scienza? And you can imagine that he would upset people as well when things are not going right. You say it how it is. But it's good to have people around that are going to ruffle a few feathers. He said he's an exceptional character and wakes everybody up, like I just said. Damion Downs, this is a quote from the Daily Echo. I'm trying to quote as much of these people that have done these interviews as I can to give you an idea of where it's come from. Of course, he wanted to be on a different level to where he is today, he said to Alfie, but there are reasons. I'm still convinced he has all the qualities, and a loan, not something that they're working on. They're not going to look to loan him by the looks of it. He defended Downs, but he's put big credit on the players that have delivered. He went on to talk about how Adam Armstrong's performing, that the Saints spent a lot of money on Cameron Archer, one of the record signings, and there's competition for places. There's good bits about the January window as well. I hope you're enjoying this video. I'm enjoying doing this. Apologies if I repeat any words, because sometimes I do. I might repeat a few things. I'm not a trained journalist. I'm just a fan talking about this interview and reacting to it. And I think it's great to get you guys involved in the conversation as well. He said that we won't be extremely active in January. Well, we won't be big spenders. We don't need to be. The big rebuild was in the summer, and he doesn't expect Southampton to be one of the most active clubs this January. That was with the Daily Echo. On the BBC, he was asked by Lewis about goalkeepers, and he said they will look at it because of the contract situations. That will be the contracts ticking down on Bazunu, and I would believe Alex McCarthy's he's in his final year of his contract. Then there'd be the situation with Aaron Ramsdale. Do they try and sell Aaron Ramsdale off now? Would be my question to him if I'd been there. Are you going to try and get rid of him and try and sell him now? So that gives you the ability to go and get another goalkeeper. It's obviously a key area, I would say. And in all you guys will do as well. I think there was a statistic come out a few days ago that Bazunu is statistically not great at his save ratio at this moment in time. And talking more about contracts and stability. With the BBC, Spors went on to say he's in constant communication with agents and players. He said the club is stable, and if we don't get promotion, he was asked what will happen, and he said it won't collapse. He said it's not going to be like a pack of cards, which I thought was very reassuring to hear. If we don't get promotion, we will go again, he said. Speaking with the Echo about the finances, the club is secure. Dragon Solak has continued to invest in the football club. He said he's confident in the club's long-term foundations, and the target is promotion. Promotion is our goal. It motivates everyone. Promotion is achievable without any shadow of a doubt. For me, he said it makes no sense to say anything else, and he's absolutely right, isn't he? They want to win at Norwich and then crack on to the next game, and they're going to sit down with Ecker a bit more and look at what will be done in January. And he kind of felt that after the next two games was the time to sit down and talk more about the planning for the next window. I spoke about the decision making at the football club. He said that he is at the decision of everything. He said he will take risks with decisions that he takes, and he is accountable and in control. A brilliant interview with both. I hope you enjoyed all those takeaways from it. Doesn't look like we will be busy in January, but I didn't expect us to be busy in January, and I'm sure you didn't neither. We've got the makings of a good squad. It just needs a little bit of a tweak, probably a few players out. He wasn't really asked about players going out the door from what I can see. I can't wait to see who does leave. Joe Rebo, coming on to Saints News, is linked with a move back to Rangers I saw yesterday. I could see that one happening for sure. He will leave, I would think, if they can get the right offer for him. There's talk of a £1.5 million fee, but he will be a free agent in the summer. So he's allowed to talk to clubs anyway. Joe Rebo will be a player that will definitely leave this January. I would think get involved in the comments box below. Elsewhere in Saints News, Tonda Eckert has been nominated for the Championship Manager of the Month. He's got to have a good chance in winning this, surely. Frank Lampard's in there, but I'll bet you he'll win it over Eckert. But I think Eckert should absolutely be, for me, he's the best manager last month. At his age, to come in and do what he's done is pretty good. I also see that John Eustace is the other nomination alongside the Birmingham City manager as well. So will Eckert win it? I think we should find out probably Friday. Is it Friday they announce it? Will it be tomorrow? By the time this video goes out, it will be Thursday night anyway. So I've wrapped everything up I wanted to cover in the video. I hope you can get involved in the conversation below. Give me all your thoughts. I think there's still question marks over Damion Downs for me, whether he will be any good in the Saints shirt, whether he will go on and score a load of goals. I'm just not sure about that signing. But like you said, you cannot get every decision right. It's impossible, isn't it? In life, in a business, I've worked in businesses, and every decision I've done, like every purchase I've made, has gone on to sell well and make me a margin. It's not always worked out, and it just might be one that doesn't work out. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Still a huge percentage of you not subscribed to this channel. Around 70 to 80% not subscribed to the channel. So please do me a massive favour. Subscribe to the channel, because all that does is help the reach of the channel, helps us grow, which helps me make you better content. Take care, and I'll see you very soon.